I see it as a very substantial agreement requiring both sides to do certain things that will be very important, not only for the economy, but for international trade in general. And the obligations of China with regard to intellectual property, trade secrets, financial institutions opening up its markets, etc., are all, it seems to me, very positive, not just for the United States, but also for the world and also for China. I hope there's no more trade war. And I don't think it's good for the economy, and it's not good for business, because business needs a stable, predictable environment. So trade wars are not a good thing. I think the fact that the Chinese and Americans will arrange at least biannually to meet and resolve problems is a very good thing, because you have the two largest economies in the world. Soon China will be number one, America will be number two. But it's important that they have an impact on the entire global economy, besides an impact on each other. So it's very important that there be stable relationships between the two countries. Yes, China is certainly welcoming foreign investment. Obviously, previously, foreign investment was a very important part of the Chinese economy. Now that it's the second and soon to be the first largest economy in the world, foreign investment is not as important as it was previously, but it's still important. And not only that, but I think America also is welcoming foreign investment from China, pursuant to the trade agreement and otherwise. So I think mutual foreign investment will be very beneficial to both parties. Well, I think IP rights protection has developed very well in China. I mean, especially in the last number of years, last 3 or 4 years, with the intellectual property courts that were established, that was a very major development. And certainly the rules and regulations regarding patents have made it easier to enforce patents, taking appeals directly from the lower courts to the Supreme Court. And I think these are some of the things that have improved, but I think the provisions of the trade agreement also deal with matters that will help further enforce the protection of intellectual property. Gross exaggeration. There are many cases where the Chinese party attempts to insist that there be a technical transfer before they go forward. But it's certainly not in every case, and it's certainly not endemic. I mean, I remember listening to the radio last night, and one of the reporters was saying, and foreigners will be able to have a wholly owned foreign company in China. Well, foreigners were able to have a wholly owned foreign company in China for years and years and years. It's nothing new. Now, it is new in the financial services field, but it's not a new issue. So the forced transfer exists. The intent to require partners to transfer their technology or to use the technology from the joint venture for domestic purposes exists, but I don't think it was as endemic. And already in the foreign investment law, they made provision for some of these things that are part of the trade agreement. And the foreign investment law was effective as of the first of this year. So the China in advance has already begun to implement some of the provisions that are in the trade agreement before it was signed.